Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. This is the third installment on a series of interviews that I'm doing with Joshua Odem, the basketball phenom. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about, at this time, he's about 16, 17 years old. He's out in the streets doing his thing, but he's still this basketball star, this up and coming basketball star doing his thing, and he's trying to figure out a way to balance everything that's going on in his life. He goes through some things at home with his parents. We're going to talk about that and get into how that affected him and this thing that a lot of athletes have with this sense of entitlement, all of these types of things. We're going to talk about that, and I hope that it opens the eyes of some of you parents out there and the kids too. Because like I said in the other two episodes, and if you haven't listened to those other two episodes, go back, check them out, episode 1 and 2, the rise and fall of a basketball phenom, you know what I'm saying, Joshua Odem. And I think you're going to learn something. I think you're going to enjoy it, right? But with that said, we're going to go ahead and get into this third episode. So I want you to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. What up, J.O.?
What's up, Joe? How you doing?
I'm good. Y'all know what it is, man. In the penitentiary, y'all know how I do. Might be a little background noise, anything like that. I want you to just dismiss that and ride on and focus on the words that we have to say. I don't have a studio like everybody else, but we're going to let it do what it do, y'all. You know what I mean? So what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good, man.
Good. Glad you came back for this, to round this thing out, man. We got a lot to talk about today. Right now, I want to jump right into you're 16, 17 years old, man. You're doing your thing on that basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows it. But what's life like for you off the court? What does that look like?
I'm still a kid
Yeah.
out there on the court. I mean, off the court.
Okay.
But
You're a kid doing grown man things, though, right?
kid doing some grown man stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's say trying to do some grown man stuff. Yeah.
Right.
And but I'm playing ball, off the court. That's when I'm starting to smoke my weed, and
all of that.
I'm dibbling and dabbling in the drug business, and
Let me be a little bit specific in my question on that. And again, like I've always said, if you don't feel comfortable asking any of the questions that I ask you, don't answer them. You feel what I'm saying? Ain't no love lost on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm asking this question because I want people to know how something like this could come about. Without telling us if you're not comfortable with that, how did you get into the game?
I'm thinking it's not thinking, but the environment.
Environment?
Just like seeing from like the neighborhood,
Right.
seeing the older people, might watch out if the older people doing something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and just the material things that came with it, seeing new cars,
Right.
folks got new clothes on, knowing, not knowing that they didn't work, but seeing like how they getting that, and when you see that as a young kid, you want the same thing. You know what I mean? They fresh from jewelry, from crown to their head, to the sole, to the feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you want some of that when you see that, because everybody
Right.
looking at them like, whoo, man, I like them, like them shoes, man,
Right.
like that shirt, pants, or that necklace, you know what I mean? Like the chain or the watch. I like that. I like that car you riding there, because when you ride like that, it makes everybody turn their head,
Right. That attention.
Yeah, and
But how did that
up,
work for you though? Not to cut you off. How did that work for you? Because you were already getting attention on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that made you want that attention off the court too? In that way?
I say from my pops, you know, because I mean I looked up to my pop, you know, I loved my pops, you know,
absolutely.
And gave me different type of like I mentioned earlier, like analogies and stuff. Didn't really know the meaning of it, but you know, and how he just provided for us, you know, and didn't let nothing happen to me, my brothers, or my mom, or just the family. Period.
Would you say you wanted to follow in his footsteps?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though you had this path,
I had the path,
laid out for you.
Yeah, I still
probably would have been playing. You know what I'm saying, for the Grizzlies or the Lakers or somebody. You still wanted that because that it was something about Pops.
Yeah, it wasn't even no probably to it on the other path. I would have had my chance to play in the league.
You would have played. You'd have had a chance to play.
You know, but it was just follow my pops, then seeing what going on the outside. I mean, from home, seeing them, they doing the same thing, you know, and it was just like I surrounded myself around that for so long, and then it just embedded it in me.
Yeah, all the way. It just embedded all the way in.
It was just like, it just latched on to me, you know what I mean? It was like, well, let me try that out. Then once I tried it out, I'm like, dang, this is, at the time, this is easy.
Right.
It's quick, it's fast. I ain't gotta wait a week or bi-weekly to get that paycheck. I make that in
30 minutes.
30 minutes of, you know what I mean? All of that. One play. I got that. You know what I mean? So it was like,
I know a lot of people talk about, I've heard this before, and if you didn't do it this way, don't agree with what I'm saying, right? But I've heard a lot of people talk about how they got an adrenaline rush out of the game. Was that the case for you?
It was adrenaline. It had me going. It was like hitting, like in basketball, I would say, it's like hitting that first three or getting your first dunk, or you hear that crowd go, you know, and you packed in the gym and they scream, you get that adrenaline, them chill bumps start kicking in.
All over you.
You know what I mean? All over.
Yeah,
you know,
all over the place.
And you just like, man.
Good feeling.
It's a good feeling, you know. Not knowingly what it causes, but at that time being at them moments, it's like, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can go buy my shoe by myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to ask my mom. You know what I mean? Or my mom don't have to beat her back to go, you know what I mean, working hard like that.
Right. So what do you think that is, man? That, because I was the same way with my pops, right? I had other people in my life that showed me, in my opinion, you know, a better feel for love. You know what I mean? And I know my daddy loved me. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't there like he should have been most of the time, because he was a street life dude. You feel me? Then he was in the penitentiary, but I know he loved me. You know what I'm saying? He would give us money here and there, and whenever he had it, whenever he make a big lick, you know what I'm saying? Do what he do. My daddy wasn't like a drug dealer. You know, my daddy was a robber. You know what I'm saying? Stick-up kid. He going to get. My daddy, man, one time, I'm going to tell you this real quick, man. My daddy and them robbed a gas truck. The whole tanker, man. You feel me? Took it to this place. I ain't even going to say what. They took it to the place and unloaded the whole tanker to somebody, man. Got garbage bags full of money. You feel me? So, you know, but it was something about me as a child, man, wanting his attention, his approval. Even though he never said I had to do that, it was just something I thought I needed to do.
That you needed to do.
And he's telling me, don't do this, don't do that. Same, even when we went to visit him at the prison, he was like, "This is not what you want." But I'm looking at him like, "Oh, yes, it is."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm wondering if you realize, when did you realize that you were like that? That you wanted your pops' approval, even though he never told you needed it. He already loved you.
Yeah.
What was that? When did you realize that?
Man, I think I realized that I needed it. I say, Joe, probably around that 16, 17.
16, 17 years old.
16, you know what I mean? Because it ain't nothing like was hearing my dad will, even though I like, young age, I may do good in school, you know what I mean? And then, like, I may be respectful, do something. He'd be
Right.
like, ain't nothing like hearing your pop say, son, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Give you that look.
Or give you that look.
Yeah.
Like,
My dad my dad's hands was real big, right?
Yeah.
My dad would just grab me by my head and shake my head. That made me feel real good.
If
You know
my,
what I mean?
if my dad don't say I'm proud of you, he say, hey, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that,
Right,
in that caliber.
right.
So it wasn't like that was a big, like, you know, I heard it from my moms, you know what I mean?
But you want it from Pops.
But he wanted from the male perspective
This
too.
is
like,
this is the male image that you have. This is what you want to model yourself behind. Right?
Yeah. And it was like, man, him saying that, like, yes, son, I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Or yeah, boy.
Yeah.
I see you, boy.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing. You know what I mean?
All of that.
And it tasted good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It tasted good and it was feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So by him saying something like that in a whole different realm of just could be school, could be ball, it was like, I need more of that.
You want it.
I want more of that.
And,
so I'm
maybe I can get it this way.
Maybe I can get this. So I'm paying attention.
Right.
You know what I mean? He know I'm paying attention, but I'm paying close attention. I got him on the scope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yep.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention. It was like, dang, you know what? I want to be able to, in my mind at the time, I want to be able to provide like my daddy can provide.
Right.
You know.
Right. If he can do it, I can do it.
If he can do it, I can do it. That's what I want. Cause like I said, we ain't had to ask for nothing.
Right.
When we was growing up. You know what I mean? He made sure we had it.
Right.
No matter what, we had it.
Yeah.
I go to school, they like, dang, you always got some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang,
always.
your clothes clean. Yeah. Oh, y'all got some money over at y'all house, don't you? Y'all got some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know, they work hard. You know what I mean? My mom didn't work hard, even though I know on the back end
what it is,
what's going on, but I'm still putting up a shield.
Yeah, because he had told you, like you said in the other episodes, that he had told you, you know, the business at the home is stay at the home, right? There. Don't be telling nobody the business, right?
Yep.
So you learn to shield that. You learn to masquerade real good.
Yeah, and I like master. I got real good at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, let me try it out. Let me let me take that route, that lane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He'd give you something for your toolbox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way to maneuver life. So let me ask you this though, in relation to that then. You playing ball and you hustling too. How did your coach not know? I mean, come on, there ain't no such thing as an anonymous drug dealer, man.
In a way, I would say at that time, yeah. Or like you mentioned before, or he didn't know how to ask, or maybe he didn't care.
Just as long as you put them,
them
buckets in that basket.
But I feel like not that. I ain't gonna say. Coach was a good coach.
Yeah.
Coach Cutler.
Yeah, I got
Ken
you.
Cutler. He was a good coach.
Respect.
But I just don't think he attuned himself on the outside. Because I developed that shield so good. You know what I mean? That wear so good where he couldn't tell at the time.
Yeah. You put on what I mean? Real good for him.
So all he seen was I'm at school. I'm respectful at school. On the court, practice come. I'm coming to handle business when practice comes.
Right.
That's all he see.
Right.
And then there wasn't no sit and talk with me. You know what I mean? And then after I get done with school, I'm jumping in. I had a black 94 Black Explorer with them. That's when them spinners came out. You know what I mean?
What you know about that?
I had them spinners with them 12s in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I thought I was everything.
You doing it real big.
I mean? I'm leaving school bumping.
Yeah, all
I
of that.
stopped. You know what I mean? Before I got in the car, I spin the rims. So when they stopped, they just.
All that.
Yeah, they want them Walmart hubcap drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them was the real deal Holyfield.
So let me ask you though. So the coach didn't know. None of your teachers knew. Did anybody outside of your household ever say anything to you about, look, you might be going the wrong way?
No.
Nobody knew.
Nobody said nothing.
So hold up then. Let me ask you this. Because I'm trying to get to a place where parents can figure out if their child is doing something, or somebody in the child's life can figure out. What would you say a parent or an adult might need to pay attention to? What would you say they should be paying attention to so they could tell if the child is hiding something as serious as, selling drugs or involved in the streets?
I say having that, like a family dinner or something, and just ask how your day going. Because if you ask somebody how their day going, and they just say good, and you ask, but how was it good, or how is it bad? Yeah. You know what I mean? And you can kind of tell
they're trying to hide something.
Trying to hide, but I never had that. Like I said, that sit down. We ain't really sat at the table.
I got you.
No feast at the table like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Only when it was feast, when we had like holidays,
cookouts,
family come down, cookouts like that.
Yeah.
But around them times, ain't nobody talking about nothing like that.
No.
You know what I mean? No. Dominoes, cards,
spades, music playing.
Music. Ain't nobody, got the uncles and grandma, they might sip on their bill, and they could be in the back chief, you know what I mean? So it was just like spending actual time. Like, you may know your kid, but you don't really know what's going on inside the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having that sit down and just talking, getting a general conversation, you'll be able, like I said, you'll be able to tell, but it may come out at the same time.
Okay, so what were your grades like?
I say I had good grades. I had some good grades. I focused on pretty much, see my way out of it. But I had elementary, I had good grades.
Yeah. High school.
Middle school, good grade. High school is when we had to start really using the mind and taking time to study. That's one thing I didn't do. Take my time.
Right.
Spend time in the books. Right. I was always good at math.
Right.
That was my favorite subject, was math. I knew how to graph. I knew how to shapes, geometry, algebra, kind of statistics, counting. I like stuff like that. But the other stuff I didn't really.
You didn't really like. So you never had nobody that was like, when you were in high school at this age, you're 16, 17, you never really had anybody just on you like that?
Nah, not on me. My mom and dad be like, make sure you do good in school.
Because as far as they knew, you were doing the right thing.
The right thing.
They didn't have any reason to bear down. They didn't think they needed to.
They was like, well, they see the report card. Oh, you got good grade. They might see a C. Well, you can do better than that, son. Yeah. They'll say something like that, And then, like, after we ride the bus, we go to the rec. They had like a little station where you can do your homework and stuff like that, which I got into that. You know what I mean? I did homework, but I didn't spend time on no test, like study for a test or nothing like that. So as I got in high school, 16, 17, get in U.S. history, I might not be doing good in U.S. history because what's been given, I may not heard on the street about the history, you know what I mean? So I'm over here like, Slick, that ain't the right history you giving me. Don't want to get too far deep in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was more like, oh man, he played ball. Oh, he doing good. He ain't doing good in my class. Shoot him a C.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You really didn't have to put in the work.
Didn't have to put in the
work.
work.
So here's the thing. So if your parents are not paying attention and knowing that you're not actually doing the work in the other classes, and the teachers are pushing you through, it's really no red flag for anybody to say he's not doing what he's supposed to do.
It won't, no.
So, man, that's hard. So here's another thing then. How you playing basketball, you going to the rec, how you got time to sell dope? Where's the time? How do you do that?
Like I said, I used to have, Oh man, I know they can't come back like that and bite me. You know what I mean? They can't hit me with a school zone
It's over
now.
with.
You know, it's
you
over
grown.
with.
It's 30
But
years. Statute
like
of
I said, I
limitations
used to
is
have people come up to the school
real talk.
in gym when we had gym class.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Used to have people come to the school.
Yeah. And that's the thing right there. It's like it's almost like how do you
Cause I parked right behind the gym, like where the gym is,
Yeah.
and we had like senior parking and like 11, 10, 11, 12 parking. You know what I mean? You gotta get there first, or you won't get one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
no, I feel you.
I'm right there.
And that's the thing, man. It's like it's hard for me to believe that nobody knew. But I know people like you that did what they did. Nobody ever said a word.
Nobody ever said a word. My friends, I say about 2 of my friends, the group that we had, they was in the business. You know what I mean, too.
Yeah.
Then you had other ones knew that we was in the business, but they never say, hey man, y'all don't need to be doing nothing like this. You know what I mean?
Everybody was with it.
Everybody was pretty
in their
much
own
in the
way.
And then you had like, I say you had some people like, make sure y'all go to school, make sure y'all do good in school, but they don't really know what's going on with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they don't know you in the streets, so they just supportive.
They just supporting,
telling you the positive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people like that, if they knew that you were in the streets, they would have got on.
They would have got on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
definitely would.
So that to me, that goes back to what you were telling me in one of the other episodes about how you learned to lie so well that it really hindered you even getting any help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't accept the help.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, give me an example of how help came to you and you wouldn't accept it, because if nobody knew, how would they know to come help? So did something happen to where?
Let's see. How would I know?
Yeah, was it ever a time where somebody came to offer you some help and say you shouldn't be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that, and you rejected them?
No, I won't say nobody came up to me. It was just like I say it was just like the history of the town should have really been my key.
Yeah.
To be like, you know what?
I don't need to do this.
I don't need to do this. You know what I mean?
But you was 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, but it was like, how our rec center was, them people that was out there in the street life, they came and hooped. Like, that's how I was like, we got a bunch of talent in the city. I mean, a bunch of talent in our small city. Right. And they all came to hoop. You know what I mean? So it was like I said, I was surrounded by, I didn't surround myself. That was just where we had to go hoop. That's just where we known to hoop. And everybody, our dads grew up there, moms grew up there, you know what I mean? So that was like the urban place where we, you know what I mean, blacks go and had good time. And it was just, didn't know, you might get the crazy thing is though, Joe, you might be able to get some situation from somebody that's older that's coming to hoop. Right.
Let me ask you about that. Because particularly in the black community, we'll have people that are involved in the game and they'll see somebody with talent. Know they got talent. Know they got a chance to get out of this stuff here, right? And they might say every now and then, bro, you need to do this and do that and go on about your business, don't be doing it. But they'll still sell it to you, right? How do you see somebody like that today? Because my thing is, even though they don't say it, and even though they might not get how much damage they're doing or how much they're sabotaging your future, what do you think about people like that? Because we got a lot of people.
Ain't nothing with them.
Ain't nothing with them. So is it kind of like misery loves company?
Yeah, it ain't nothing with them.
So they not really being cool.
Because I feel like if I'm that age and I see a young boy that got all this talent and I know in my mind like, man, that dumb boy
Yeah.
He there.
All he need to do is stay on the path.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab him. Even though I'm doing what I'm doing, my mindset would have been like, at this day and age right here, would have been like, let me grab him.
Get him
Let
out
me
of this.
hit him up. Hey, what you doing today? You trying to go to the gym? I would keep him in the gym at a young, you know what I mean? Because you know how young people get lazy, don't want to do nothing. You know what I mean? And sometimes they gotta have that extra push,
Right.
For them to take that step.
Yeah.
To keep it repetition, to make it a habit.
And a lot of times, you just hit on something. A lot of times, they'll gravitate towards those people that won't keep them pushing, won't give them that push, that'll tell them everything is cool and make everything seem like life is all fun and games. And those will be the very people that'll watch you when you fall and laugh. And that's what I'm trying to get to in this episode. It's like the people that are around you, mom and daddy can't see everything.
Right.
Especially if everything look good. They go about their life. You feel me? You take your grades are decent, you coming home, they don't see everything. Your coach, he don't see everything. The teachers, they don't see everything. But it's those people that are already involved in the game, because there ain't no way you can become a drug dealer without getting some drugs from somebody that's in the game. You understand? And those individuals, man, that convince young people that life is all fun and games and this is something that they should do. Don't get me wrong, man. I love my people, man. I love my people. But they're the problem. They're the problem. Now, they need help. Stipulating all that. They need help, because a person that feels like that's cool to do, they've suffered some kind of trauma, they need some real help. But the fact that you suffered a trauma don't excuse you from taking it out and leading somebody else down the wrong path.
Right.
If you know that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you don't know and understand that's what you're doing, that's different. But if you know that this boy over here, this girl over here has got talent, or they're good in school, you don't get out there, get them in the streets, get them pregnant. You don't get that boy out there and get him selling drugs or joining gangs and all of these types of things that are going to lead him the wrong way. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know what I'm saying, in this episode, I wanted to get to all of those things that I've been asking you about, trying to narrow down who pushed you over that edge. I don't think it was your mom and your daddy. Because even though you were trying to get some sense of satisfaction or approval from your pops didn't give you no dope, man. He didn't know you were doing that.
Not at the early.
Not in your early days. He didn't know. Your mama didn't know. Your coach didn't know. All the people in your life that if they would have known, they would have got on you. They didn't know. But the people in the streets, they knew.
They knew.
And that's what I want people to understand about the streets. The streets is raw. Real raw. It don't care who it get. Ain't no love in it.
Ain't no love in it. Chew you up, spit you right back out.
That's just what it is. And the streets can't survive without new meat.
Yep.
You got to get new meat. So you go get the young ones and you bring them in and you make them think it's all fun and games and everything is going to be good and you got the money, you get the girls and you do all this, and everybody's being corrupted. And then we'll try to look back and say, well, where was your mama and daddy? They truly didn't know. You became so good at hiding it that they don't know.
They don't know. Yeah.
You around your coach all day long practicing and playing and going on trips. He don't know or she don't know. You can't blame them. Now, certain things that happen in your life coming up, yeah, you can point to Pops. But Pops didn't give you no dope.
Nah.
Not in your early years.
Nope.
We still in the early years. He didn't know. And that's what I want people to understand about, you know, it's going to be somebody outside that circle of the people that care about you.
They care, yeah.
It's going to pull your child into something. And then they're going to keep that from the parents. They're going to hide that from the coaches. They're going to hide that from the people that they know wouldn't accept that. And that's when you start to go down here.
That's when you start to.
That's
how mine was. I was eventually just, I go down a little bit, boom. Then I hit the stagnant road.
Right.
I go down a little bit.
Right.
Stagnant again. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I learned too, that being stagnant,
it's not good.
It ain't good, because then you start, your mind be cloudy. Then you start making bad judgments.
Right.
The next thing you know, it's gone.
Right, and to see, and what you've learned, that's the only thing you got to pull from.
So you got to pull from.
You've learned this game here, this street game, so that's all you got to pull from. So you think your solution rests in that. See what I'm saying? Because that's what you've learned.
Yeah.
That's what these people have taught you.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, man, I wanted to touch on that real quick now. We're gonna wrap this one up though and get on to the next one. You know, and for all of you out there that haven't listened, go back and check out episode 1 and 2, The Rise and Fall of a Basketball Phenom, Joshua Odem, right? Go check them out. And I'm sure that you're going to learn something. And I appreciate y'all listening. I appreciate you doing this too, right?
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me.
For sure. Y'all know what's going on. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.